Welcome back to All Things ETH. My name is Aaron, and on this channel we talk about everything Ethereum. We've got projects, we've got play to earn, and we've got price and NFTs, guys. So one thing I wanted to update you all on is that it's kind of been a slow weekend. Didn't have much to talk about Friday, so I didn't post over the weekend. We've seen some sideways action in the price. In fact, let me jump right into the price, guys. Share my screen with you here, and you know, we've seen in ETH just this sideways consolidation for the last couple of days. We had this awesome pump. I think that was last Monday or Tuesday, and since then we've pretty much traded sideways. We did get a dump over the weekend, this classic Sunday dump, where the whales tried to manipulate the price down, and they bought right back in as they couldn't get us below this the golden pocket here in the Fibonacci. And right now we are seeing a little bit of a dump. I don't really know why we're seeing that yet, and we've got a you know, bullish sort of MACD cross coming up right in the neutral range of the RSI. So I'm not sure if we're going to see this sustain, or if we're going to see something similar to what we did yesterday in you know, in the manipulation here from the whales. And just to show you that that was manipulation on the whales part, we had the same thing happen in the Bitcoin chart, where it was just a huge wick down into the Fibonacci golden cross, just like we saw over on ETH, which is kind of nuts, and then right back up, right immediately smack up. In fact, we are seeing Bitcoin continue to rally higher today, and it has already passed its you know, local high at 52,000. We're at 57.5 right now. We've seen as high as almost 58, and I do think we're seeing. I think I've watched some other YouTubers tell me that the VPVR range is pretty much at the $58,000 level. Although we did just cross the fib level of 0.78, so we're looking good there. I have a feeling we're gonna trade between 57.5 and 58, and then break out unless we see some sort of price action fall here. I'm not too concerned about the Bitcoin price. A little bit concerned about ETH, as it's not you know, it's just trading sideways, guys. It's kind of boring, but as long as we don't see it drop below 33, I'm not too worried right now. In fact, I could see it coming back down really easily to 33, maybe even 30, like, you know, exactly 3,300 past that golden Fibonacci golden pocket. But I do think that would be a fake out, as I do see all of cryptocurrency trending up in this month through the end of the year especially. So not sure when the bull market is going to end. It ended last year in December. Every single bull market has gotten longer and longer every 4 years, so we do expect that, or wouldn't be surprised, let's put it that, wouldn't be surprised if we see the bull market run past December this year, as each one does get a little bit longer. Let's look at ultrasound.money. We've got it's pretty high gas prices, nothing completely out of the ordinary. Today I've seen it range from its you know, average of about 75 Gwei up to 100 today. We are minting a lot of NFTs. It's not the end of NFT season has not happened. OpenSea has just stayed at the top of the ETH burn since August 5th, which is pretty nuts. 74,000 ETH burned in the OpenSea app alone, and that's, see, I don't understand really the registry versus the OpenSea app. I think the registry, I'll have to look into what that is. That may be you know, transfers between of NFTs between wallets. OpenSea being the minting of NFTs is my assumption, but I'll have to look into that more on that later. Let's look at the burn rate here. The burn rate is pretty high. Last 24 hours we're looking at 6 ETH a minute. Last 7 days is over 7, which is incredible. The last 30 days is at 5, so we're trending, you know, up for the most part. Yeah, the last hour had over 7, so I do expect that to continue to be 7 or higher for the next couple months as far as the ETH per minute burn. We are seeing deflationary blocks pretty regularly. Anytime I log into ultrasound.money, I'm looking down in here and seeing if anything is over 2 ETH per block, it is deflationary. So we have 3 currently in the last 7 here, and pretty incredible to continue to see that. Just you know, since August 5th, we've had a couple deflationary days, which is incredible. I do think we're going to start seeing that again if we see gas prices move higher, and you know, just with the continued price going up of ETH, we'll probably see that just sustain and even maybe even flip, you know, deflationary more often later in the year here. We'll see. So a little update on Axie Infinity. The floor prices are around $143. The 0.04 seems to be the floor here. I have seen some floors, you know, the floor looks like it could rise to 0.045 or 0.05. So not a lot of fluctuation in the price of Axies themselves. The price of the AXS token is leveling out a little bit. We're closer to 120 right now. This is my staking, guys. I did hit the little restake button, which gave me 0.05 more of the AXS token, so I put that in my total. I'm just doing some compounding of my interest here, and I'm trying to do my best to just continue to compound that. I would like to throw some more AXS in here if it continues to rise. And one thing I've heard rumored here, listening to some of the Axie Infinity team, they've talked about how if you own an Axie, you have an AXS token. So previously, you know, we've seen up to 4 AXS tokens needed to breed Axies. That dropped to 2, and now it's down to 1. So all you need is one AXS token to breed 2 Axies together, which is pretty incredible considering where they started. But the economics of it, guys, the economics are such that it's actually pretty, it's not very lucrative right now to be breeding, because the AXS token is so well priced into the market. So $120, $130, even up to $150 per AXS token. If you use one of those to breed and then all the SLP that's needed, you're looking at, you know, $2 to $250 just to get in with any breed. So if you do have some really high-end meta, you know, you can sell some of those for 0.1 ETH. You're looking at, you know, $300-400 there. So you are making a little bit money, but that's pretty that's sort of a gamble right now because of the price of AXS being so high. So I'm personally using any AXS I can to stake because of the APR is so high here. So I wanted to talk about what I'm doing as far as investing right now. And one thing I've looked into and actually have decided to subscribe to is the TradeConfident.io. Travis Martin over there at TradeConfident. I like his story. I like his demeanor. I like his videos on YouTube. Go over and follow him. He's got some really cool products, especially for TradingView and some metrics that he posts on his website regularly. I did pay the $49 a month to get subscribed to his information. What I like about him, guys, is his charting. His charting is very smart. So you talk about smart money versus, you know, retail money, and he's really keyed in on the sentiment, not only from a charting level, but the actual you know, on-chain indicators. He tracks you know, whale money flow. He tracks the trends of, you know, are more people in long trades or short trades, and he does give away this information on Bitcoin for free. If you go over to his website, all these indicators are free. So emotional index, you know, are people greedy? Are they excited? The long versus short trades. You're seeing a huge dip right now in the amount of long trades on Bitcoin. Now that's interesting to those of you who are really into Bitcoin. We do see the price of Bitcoin rising, and you know, don't FOMO in, guys, because one thing that he talks about a lot is the amount of long trades, and this is on-chain data. This is verifiable on-chain data brought in by Bitfinex, and these are you know, the long and shorts going on currently. And then you know, he tracks the long versus short trade risk. Right now, if you're in Bitcoin, there's a great short trade opportunity. It looks like he thinks in particular, and the metrics show that we're looking at a possible dip on the Bitcoin price, and wouldn't be surprised there at all because we have seen such a run up. And then he likes to show these long versus short trades here in a different regard, with like a you know, 50% middle here, and then he's actually measuring the longs versus shorts. So right now we have an abundance of shorts in the market, and since the price is quite high in comparison to where it was, and he also shows a couple of the resistance and support levels here, and that is great information. Also, this is cool if you're just dollar cost averaging, if you're not a trader, if you're a hodler. He does have this index where every time a green line pops up, it's a good time to dollar cost average, and this is also an exit point. So if you are a trader and want to make, you know, compound interest, buy back in lower, it does look like we're in a range where it'd be a good idea to take some profit off the table. So and this is the death cross here. This is the this is where, you know, in the green we're bullish, and if we're in the red we're bearish, and currently in the green. Obviously we've done really well in the last couple of weeks as far as starting off October right with some bullish price action, especially in Bitcoin, but also on the Ethereum chart. Does look like we're dropping down on Ethereum, guys. So some of the charts that he shows, I will show you. He does show you this in his videos, so I will as well. Since I don't feel like I'm giving this away, even though I am, you know, a member on his channel. He gives this away in regular YouTube videos. In fact, he did this morning, so I'm not showing you anything that he wouldn't already show you. You know, the things are getting greedy in the Ethereum price. This blue line here is what we're actually looking at. So the price is going up. The greed to fear index is you know, closer to neutral than it is the far end of the greed spectrum, but it is on the top end of neutral. So he does expect to see more shorts coming up, and that's what's happening here. This little rise up here in short trades versus long trades. Now long trades are trending up as opposed to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin longs have fallen drastically. We are seeing a slight uptick in the longs on the Ethereum chart, but also a slight uptick in the short trades. He does think, as of his metrics go, this is in the good short trade region here, just barely into it. He would probably have you wait if you were in to see this blue line to go all the way up into the gray or even higher like it has been before you would do a short. He wouldn't short. I'm not a short seller myself, so I don't recommend it, but these are the indicators nonetheless. Now, this is interesting. He made a video this morning that happened before this red mark was ticked here. This indicator shows that we do have more longs than we do shorts in the market for Ethereum. Now, usually this is an indicator that a trend that will continue. As you can see here, there's often more more to one side than more on the up in a row than are back and forth. There is a couple of outliers here, like this one seems to be a singular here. This guy here is singular uptick. So this could be an anomaly, but I do expect Ethereum in particular to start heading up as Bitcoin went up and Ethereum just traded sideways. So we'll see what happens there. And here are your support and resistance lines for Ethereum. I do think 3K is probably our biggest support locally, and of course 44,000 is quite a big level of resistance right now. Just want to get a little bit further into the technical analysis. We've been sitting here between 3,600 and 3,400 for the better part of, let's see, since the 2nd of October. So I do think we're going to trade in this range for a little bit longer, maybe go down as low as 3,300, which is our our low here from the bit through October. I don't see us going any lower than that, to be honest with you, but I do tend to go a little bit bullish. Now, wanted to show you a couple of things on the top end as far as next resistant levels. Obviously, we've got our local top at $4,000 or just over $4,000. If you track this back to the all-time high back in May, really early May, guys. So if you track that line down past our local high that we had in September, early September, we do see a confluence between the 0.78 Fibonacci retracement, and that's the Fibonacci retracement from the all-time high, which is what I created the golden pocket here on, which is acting as support right now, which is fantastic because we are above it, and I do think we just bounced off of it. In fact, yeah, we just bounced off of it here. So let's see if that ends up continuing to be support for us, guys. It's the same thing that we did last week. So we came out of the golden pocket with some good, confirmation here. Did retest here, and then have traded sideways since. Got back into it and immediately back out to it. The low volume manipulation we saw over Sunday afternoon and evening, and then now we're retesting again. So I do hope to see a bounce off, but I do think the confluence between the 0.78 fib retracement and the downward sloping resistance from the all-time high and the local high at 4,000, I think we're going to hit 3,800 and have some resistance there. So be looking out for that. Do subscribe to Trade Confident. He's got some awesome metrics. If you'd like to spend even more, he's got some fantastic indicators that I'm looking into purchasing myself. That once I'm currently hodling for the most part. I don't have a lot of time to trade right now, but I am looking at trading throughout the winter time, especially as we reach the end of the bull market here and then head into the eventual bear market. I would like to pull down some of these indicators. What he shows on his videos, and go check them out, are the price versus whale money flow and the trend exhaustion as being some of the major indicators that he shows in his videos and makes his trades based on them. And he is killing it right now as far as winning trades, in his risk management is very, very good, guys. It's very, very conservative as far as how much you put in at a time. He shows you purchase indicators. I will not show those to you, as he doesn't show those in his videos, as to where he recommends buying in. But in general, they are at support and resistant lines. So at support lines, he's putting in buys, and at resistance lines, he's putting in sell, and sell, 50% or more of your trade. And then he even has a Telegram channel where he will put out notifications on the trades to update people where to sell, where to buy. So once you become a member, you can get access to those things, the Telegram as well as the buy signals. Now he does show you, believe, let's look at the live trades. You can go to the Bitcoin live trades, yes, and it shows you here. So these are sort of the same, what I'm talking about here. These support and lines here are the buy-ins, and then you put your sell limits at these resistance lines, and this is where he would have you purchase and buy if you were trading. So anyway, I just want to give a shout out to Travis Martin over at Trade Confident. I do expect to buy into his indicators. I'm going to ask him if I can put them up on my feed, and also possibly get a little bit of a like to become a maybe an affiliate for his program to help you guys out. So I did start a Discord, so look me up at AllThingsETH, put in the pound sign and then 0836. I'm going to put a link to that in the comments below if you would like to reach out, and I'd love to get started with a little bit more conversation back and forth. So join me on my Discord there. And then one last thing I would like to talk about is Pulse Chain. When I was doing some of my videos last couple weeks about Hex, a lot of the Hexicans were telling me about Pulse Chain, and I've looked into it, guys. I've done some research. A lot of you really got after me for not knowing enough about Hex, and so I wanted to make sure I did some due diligence on Pulse Chain before I even mentioned it. And here's what I've learned so far. So the Pulse Chain is from the creator of Hex, Richard Hart, and what he's doing, guys, is really fascinating. He's taking the Ethereum blockchain and he's going to fork it. So he's taking the code, which is apparently common, free domain, or it's open source. So he's able to take that. He's used some blockchain coders to some Solidity coders to add some of his own infrastructure to this. He is going to give you some crazy things here. So what are the goals of Pulse Chain? So let's look at this website, pulsechain.com. What are the goals of Pulse Chain? Well, his top goal here is really interesting to me, to increase Ethereum's value. Well, he says he thinks that he'll take enough away from Ethereum to the Pulse Chain, enough traffic so that the fees are lowered. I don't know how that really increases the value of Ethereum. If people are leaving Ethereum to use Pulse, does that really increase the value? I think that's a roundabout way of saying that if he gets enough of the market share, there may be lower gas fees, but I don't see that as a plus, guys. I honestly see higher gas fees as a proof of concepts for Ethereum. If people are using it and the gas fees are going higher, and people are continuing to use it and the gas fees going even higher, that means people are actually wanting to use it and actually are using it. And because we've seen higher gas fees and higher burn, month after month since August, guys, I don't see Ethereum losing market share to many things. In fact, all these level 2 rollups are helping scale, and even with some really high usage, in Arbitrum and these sort of rollups, we're not seeing lower gas fees. We're continuing to see sustained gas fees, in fact, and some peak highs. So what's the next thing? Enrich ETH users. Pulse Chain will re-enable priced out use cases. Instead of launching empty, Pulse Chain brings the ETH system state at ERC20s This rewards holders and founders of Ethereum-based projects. So what it's saying here is that if you own ETH, you'll also own Pulse ETH. So this is where I get a little bit sketched out with the whole Pulse chain situation. Yes, it's a reward to own Pulse ETH. I've done some research, guys. When he forks Ethereum with Pulse, he's going to call it Pulse chain, and any ERC20 that was ETH on the ETH chain will be Pulse ETH or PETH, which will be your Ethereum and anything ERC20. So any ERC20 token, including Uniswap, your Hex, will be essentially duplicated. And it also sounds like it's possible that that Pulse Chain will also duplicate your NFTs, which will be very interesting, because what is an NFT that is an NFT duplication doesn't sound like an NFT anymore, right? It sounds like it is fungible. It's it makes a copy of, which doesn't sound. It just sounds interesting to me. So a lot of hexagons are really talking up the Pulse chain. It will have faster. We'll have less fees and faster times. Ethereum times 4, it says. Basically, it says that with the block times will be every 3 seconds instead of Ethereum's current every 13 seconds. That will increase throughput, guys. But unless enough people are using it, who cares? People are saying this about some of the rollups. The capacity of some of these rollups is 1,000 times more than what's possible on the ETH chain right now, and but not enough people are using to even take advantage of those speeds. It doesn't, it really doesn't matter, because once unless you're really pushing the limits, there's not a necessity for those extra transactions. To remove pollution, this is a funny one. It's not funny. Let's take it seriously. The Pulse chain will not be a mined chain like Ethereum is. Like, the proof of work will not be the case of the Pulse chain. The thing to me that makes me flinch a little bit is, what are the miners going to do? So the miners, I've heard of threat of mining attacks on the Ethereum network from the miners once the ETH 2.0 goes into effect and proof of work becomes proof of stake. Well, here is Richard Hart taking the Ethereum blockchain, and honestly, guys, it's basically giving the middle finger to all the miners who have created Ethereum in the first place. All of these miners will not get any sort of rewards for, besides, Pulse ETH in the Pulse chain. And, what's the worth of Pulse ETH if you can't use it in, Uniswap on the Ethereum chain, or you can't bring it into Coinbase and transfer it into fiat? We'll have to see. I might be eating my words. We might see Pulse ETH, be amazingly priced right out of the gate. Could be thousands of dollars, just like Ethereum is right now. But my assumption is, when this does fork, and it is on testnet right now, which is pretty incredible. Richard's been able to crank this out pretty well. I mean, they've been talking about Pulse for over a year now, maybe even 2. I think it was 2019 when Pulse chain was mentioned originally. It is in testnet. So, what are the miners going to do? I have a feeling there's a pretty good chance that we're going to have some of the Ethereum miners get pretty upset about this fork, and who knows what they're capable of. Anyway, yes, we will remove pollution. I don't know about remove pollution. There will be less pollution because, yes, proof of work does take a lot of electricity, sure, but Pulse Chain was made on the backs of all of the ETH miners, so that'll be pretty interesting. And as far as the centralization goes, you know, Ethereum's decentralized because all of the nodes and all the miners and it's a very large-scale operation. Where Pulse Chain, as far as there's not a lot of information out there about how to be a node, or if you can even be a node on the Pulse Chain. So I'm not sure how that looks yet. I'll have to research that some more, but yeah, I'm a little bit, you know, like I was with Hex. I'm not really sure. I do understand that a lot of people are making great money on Hex, and that's fantastic. I do think it was a really smart idea, in the fact that Hex has raised in price and continued to raise in price, and even through some of the bear market and the Bitcoin market, it is interesting to see Hex continue. It is like a CD. You do put in, you trade your Ethereum or your Bitcoin for Hex in you know, in Uniswap, and you can stake your Hex, and it's just like a CD. You have you set the time period that you want to have it staked, and it will increase in value. You get Hex back as an interest in your staking, and a lot of people have made a lot of money in Hex, but I still think the underlying use case of Hex is a little bit interesting, and the Pulse Chain in particular kind of throws me off as a kind of a diehard ETH guy, right? I do think it's got some head scratchers, if you will, in its theory. Now Richard Hart is genius level. He does know way more than I do, as far as, you know, he's been in the cryptocurrency game way longer than I do, so don't take my word for it. Go check out some of his videos and just come back to you know, do your own research, guys. That's all I'm saying. There's no financial advice here. I'm just giving you what I've read, what I've seen, and want to pass it on. So with that, if you like coffee and crypto, go over to friedrichscoffee.com. It does help support the channel when you buy any size bag of fresh roasted to order coffee. We ship all over the 48 continental United States, and with code FREESHIPUSA you get free $5 off any retail order. You can use it on wholesale orders, guys, if you would like. Free shipping does come into effect on wholesale orders over $120, I believe, is or 20 pounds of coffee. But if you're a retailer like myself, a coffee drinker, a home coffee drinker, home you know, using the Chemex and the AeroPress and these sorts of things, go over to friedrichscoffee.com, get yourself a 12-ounce bag of Friedrichs coffee, and enjoy the freshest roasted to order coffee you can find on the internet, guys, and support the channel by like that. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.